Well, we have one less coworker. He decided he did not want to be in the biomed field anymore. So he appreciated everything that he'd learned, but he wanted to continue on doing his electronic field. He was an electronic technician before he was a biomed technician, and he just got out of college not too long ago. An older guy, but he's just got into college, did it. He was a machinist before that. He did maintenance on equipment after he got out of college, and he's always worked for the 10 and building new stuff, and wanted to have the self-certification of being able to build something and grow a company together with people that's just starting out or has been there for a while, versus working on equipment that he did the previous year. He just had his 1-year certificate given to him like last week or a week ago, and it just wasn't cutting it. It wasn't getting his needs fulfillment of enjoying of doing circuit board repairs and stuff like that. And in the biomed field, there's a lot of cases that does not happen. You don't have the same certification as you would working on circuit boards. I've done in 17 years working outside of the biomed field. I could tell you I've easily repaired over 20,000 circuit boards easily. And I would say probably more than 90% of them are still out there working today. And that's just the way it is, I enjoyed doing what I did, hone my craft. I still know probably most of all the repairs and fixes of all the door controllers and anything else that I worked on in the past. And that's just the way it is for me. I enjoyed what I do. And getting into biomed was a struggle for me because you do last year's PM and then your PM before that. And then you just wait for failures to happen. And most of the time, failures don't happen that you can take and change out apart, because in the medical field, you're limited to X amount of time to make sure the equipment is fixed and repaired and put back on the floor. You can't just sit there and wait on it forever. You can't just troubleshoot it and look for a part and update and do all this stuff. If you have a board that you can swap it out with, let's just swap it out. That's the way it is. And that wasn't suiting this guy. I've been doing biomed for 3 years, and I've, in 3 years, I've done what they call essential stuff, IV pumps. I've worked in the NICU floor. I've worked on incubator beds. I've worked on epidural pumps for liver delivery. I've done OR stuff. I've done OR tables, blanket warmers, so much stuff. Centrifuges, microscopes, blood warmers, dialysis machines. I'm drawing a blank of all the stuff I worked on. Lasers and manufacturer trained in lasers, manufacturer trained in ultrasound, manufacturer trained in x-rays. I've done I've done training in mammograms. I've done a lot of training. Pretty much the only field in this area that I have not touched is respiratory stuff, which I pretty much told them I didn't want to do respiratory for personal reasons, for lack of hearing, and CT and MRI. I pretty much have worked on every medical device there is in 3 years. Defibs, aspirators, vacuum suction regulators. Have not done a balloon pump. That'd be one more thing. But yeah, I've worked on C-arms before. Yeah. So in 3 years, I'm still a level 2. And I worked on this stuff. I'm currently working on x-rays and mammos and ultrasound majority of the time, and then I'll do general biomed stuff. And the fulfillment that you get from doing this stuff is not the same fulfillment that you have done working on circuit boards. And then, as your electronic technician, and you say that you've done this for your electronics field for 10 plus years, and you get into biomed, at first it's going to be like, well, it's a relaxation, it's a vacation, I don't have to have so much stress anymore. Then 6 months goes by, and then it's like, okay, I'm tired of being on my vacation. I'm ready to get back to mentally stressing my brain out, and let's do it. A year goes by, and you're like, okay, this is like permanent vacation. I don't feel like I'm using my brain too much. It's, not being utilized for the fullest potential. And I get it. I fully get it. I mean, working on the stuff that I've worked on already, and you pretty much hot swap boards and circuitry, you gotta have that much amount of troubleshooting, but component level troubleshooting is what a lot of technicians like to do, or should do, electronic technicians, and be able to say, hey, not that I just, figured this out, I'm also on the other edge of saving people money. And there's also a catch-20 of that. You're working at a hospital, and you're going to have the medical equipment up, like, next week. If the x-ray's down, you need to have that x-ray tube delivered tomorrow or the next day, and get it installed and get it back going. There's the money makers. That's all it is. Get an IV pump going down. If it's a Large pump, you change out the pressure sensor or whatever else is found on it, and you get it back on the floor. Because they're limited to so much equipment, you can't just sit there and linger on and try to figure out whatever it is the unknown. A lot of stuff that we don't have is schematics. That's the way it is. So I fully understand the thought process of somebody that's been an electronic technician for a full year, and then they get into this and they're like, oh yeah, relaxing, cool, awesome. Get to work on all this cool medical stuff, and then it wears off on them. So, as I've been talking, you've been seeing these comments scrolling by, and this is another personal certification that I've done and been doing for the last 15 years. I work on electronics on my own, and this one video had over 80,000 views, and with over 200 comments, somebody telling me that I fix their stuff for them. In reality, is these people took time out of their day to say, hey, thanks, you're awesome. I was able to fix my own device and save anywhere up to $60. That's cool, The 80-something thousand people searched for the same device that failed for an easy solution, and that's what it is. I have over 800 videos on my main channel. I have 11 million views, over 11 million views. Now let's say I saved somebody an average of $100. That's $1.1 billion. Just think about that. That would be amazing to have. Just say somebody gave you $100 every time they looked at your video. But it's that personal thing, and I don't think anything about it. I don't read comments too much anymore because I didn't want it to give me a big head like, oh wow, this guy's done this for me, this one. No, I enabled you to do it for yourself. You were able to take and get the tool to put it in your hand, and you did it. So I showed 80,000 people in one video how to fix their own piece of equipment using a $5 soldering iron, a blob of solder, and they got to go back and play their video games, whatever game that may have been. And that's cool. The appreciation that you get from that. not to say that you don't get appreciation for working on medical equipment and keeping the staff safe, keeping the patients safer, making sure that their lives are continuing by keeping the equipment up to par and maintenance. But you don't see that certification as you would if you grew your own channel. And this is something I try to tell people. If you're an electronic technician and you get in the biomed field, you need to create something so you can generate something more. If you're a good electronic technician, you want to keep doing what you've done and just help out in the world. And that's what I've done. And that's what I encourage everybody to do. So, at least he dabbled in it. He got into it for a year. He understood it. He enjoyed it. It was his cup of tea for a while. You know, he can say that he'd done stuff that no other people would have done. And that's cool. He was a cool guy to work with. So, just keep that in mind. Not all electronic technicians work in this field. It doesn't work out for them at all. It is what it is. And I've told him that too, you know. I've been there for 3 years and it's a struggle. You know, I try to go back into the field and electronics to work on my own stuff, and then you get burned out working that, and you do this full-time jobs, 2 full-time jobs, and it's just, no. Keep what you got going. If you make too much money, you just do it. But it's sad. You like people, you get to know them, and grow with them, and you gain them some new knowledge. So, on to the next tip. Thanks for listening to my rambles. If you're an electronic technician and you're able to do what you do for fulfillment in life, cool. Maybe you should make another YouTube channel or make a channel and showcase your abilities. You might see that fulfillment. You may see that all these people that say, "Hey, I watched your video. You helped me fix this," and it's appreciation they give you. It's pretty neat. It's a good feeling. It really is. We'll see you next time.